please stand for the playing of the national anthem and the invocation from Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel Beatrice Kobongs, Wing Chaplain 908, Airlift Wing.
I invite you to please pray with me. Eternal God, you who declare the end from the beginning, you have determined that today we will celebrate this important day where we recognize the efforts, the hard work of our students who have invested their time, energy, resources, and made a lot of sacrifice to study and equip themselves and improve the quality of their work through studies. And so as they graduate today, we want to say thank you. We thank you for what lies ahead of them. We ask that as they go forward with their learning and implementation of their knowledge in the service of our nation as airmen in civilian clothing, we ask that you bless them, bless their families, grant them many opportunities to continue to serve. Even as we celebrate them today, we do not forget the efforts of faculty and staff who have invested their time and energy and resources to train them, to get them to this point. Sometimes we do not see the work, but we know the result when we see a graduation day like this. So we ask that you bless them and their families. We thank you for the leadership of Global College. We ask for wisdom, for continued direction in our civilian education and development. We ask that, Lord, all will go well, and that we will continue to serve our nation faithfully. We ask for your blessings upon this ceremony as we celebrate today, that we have every reason to be thankful and to be grateful. Guide us as we recognize your hand upon this occasion today. We pray these things in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Kobongs, for that wonderful invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2025 graduation ceremony for the Associate of Science degree in the Department of the Air Force Leadership and Management Studies, also known as the Department of the Air Force Civilian Associate Degree Program, or CADP. I am Dr. Lynetta Banks Williams, Associate Dean, Academic Affairs for CADP, and your narrator today. On behalf of the Commandant, Air Force Global College, Colonel Damian Holtzclaw, welcome CADP Class of 2025. This ceremony marks the culmination of over 2 years of study, which has further prepared our students as civilian leaders for the Air and Space Forces. I would like to begin with the introduction of our distinguished officials and guest speakers for today's ceremony. Joining us is the United States Air Force Deputy Chief of Staff for Manpower Personnel and Services, Pentagon, Ms. Glenda Shiner. The Commandant, Air Force Global College, Colonel Damian Holtzclaw. Commander, Community College of the Air Force, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Donaher. The Director, Civilian Leadership Development School, Mr. Barry Waite. The Dean, Academic Affairs for the Civilian Associate Degree Program, Dr. Andrew Bowens. We extend a warm welcome to all our distinguished guests joining us for this special event. We would also like to welcome our CADP faculty and staff. Last, but certainly not least, a special welcome to all the family members, commanders, supervisors, and friends of our graduates who have supported them throughout the program. Mr. Barry Waite, the Director, Civilian Leadership Development School, will introduce Ms. Glenda Shiner.
Ladies and gentlemen, class of 2025, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce today's commencement speaker, the United States Air Force Deputy Chief of Staff for Manpower and Personnel and Services, Ms. Glenda Shiner. Ms. Shiner is a member of the Senior Executive Service and is Assistant Deputy Chief of Staff for Manpower, Personnel and Services, Headquarters, U.S. Air Force. She is responsible for comprehensive plans and policies covering all life cycles of military and civilian personnel management to ensure delivery of fully qualified, ready airmen for the joint warfighter, while also meeting all the needs of the airmen and their families. She oversees the execution and programming of Manpower Personnel and Services portfolio with an annual $47 billion personnel budget for 685,000 military and civilian total force airmen. As chair of the Civilian Force Development Panel, she plans, directs, and evaluates programs to ensure a qualified, productive, and well-maintained workforce of over 183,000 civilians. Ms. Shiner was appointed to the Senior Executive Service in 2011, and she has held diverse positions at the base, group, center, major command, air staff, and OSD levels. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Shiner.
Graduates of the 2025 Civilian Associate's Degree Program. It's an honor to be with you today as we celebrate and congratulate the graduates on achieving this tremendous accomplishment. Today, the graduates join an elite group of approximately 250 fellow graduates across the entire Department of the Air Force who have taken advantage of the opportunity and have successfully completed this challenging program designed to develop the next generation of leaders to meet the future needs of the Department of the Air Force. Since the program's inception in 2017, students have completed approximately 10,000 courses and 1.3 million contact hours of leadership, management, and air and space power studies. This program supports the National Defense Strategy's goals regarding education and innovation by investing in intellectual leadership and professionalism among motivated, career-minded civilian airmen and guardians. I'm impressed by the willingness of these graduates to learn and their commitment to take on this educational endeavor in the midst of busy lives with full-time jobs, and many of whom also have children, grandchildren, or many other life commitments. I extend my congratulations to each and every graduate today. Beginning the pursuit of a college degree can be an intimidating experience, especially if it's done later in your career. I began my college education right out of high school, but it was still very intimidating as I moved from a very small rural community to a large college campus. It was very challenging at first, and I had to find my way in the new environment. But looking back on it now, I'm so glad that I was willing to step out of my comfort zone to pursue that educational endeavor. My 18-year-old self would never have imagined, as I embarked on that journey, that one day I would not only graduate from that initial educational endeavor, but would go on to ultimately hold 2 master's degrees and to serve as a Tier 3 member of the Senior Executive Service in the Department of the Air Force. Each of you has your own story that led you to take the first step on your college education journey and to get to this point today. Many of you may have begun that journey with fear and trepidation of whether you would have what it takes to succeed. You may have had to overcome many challenges to take that first step, and perhaps there were many other challenges all along the way. But today is your day. You took that first step, you persevered, and you overcame any additional challenges. And here you are today as a new graduate with an associate's degree. Congratulations. Graduation is an end to this specific educational endeavor, but it's only the beginning of your continued career journey. At this juncture, it is a good time for reflection where you ask yourself, what is my life's purpose? What are my ultimate career goals? How will I build on these first steps that I've taken in my educational journey to continue to move forward? What will the next step in my developmental journey be? Perhaps the lack of a college degree adversely impacted your confidence in what you could achieve in your career. You have now successfully taken the first step to overcome anything that was holding you back in your educational journey, and you have succeeded. The door is now open to many new potentials for your future. Nelson Mandela stated that education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. As a graduate of the Department of the Air Force Civilian Associate's Degree Program, you have earned a Civilian Associate of Science degree in Leadership and Management Studies. You've completed a tremendous milestone in your educational journey. You can now take that knowledge and use it to not only fuel your passion to continue to learn and grow to reach your full leadership potential, but to also determine how to fully maximize the knowledge that you have gained to enhance the part of the world in which you work. As you graduate today, I encourage you to take a few moments to reflect on all that you have learned. Focus on how you will take the education you've gained and incorporate these valuable lessons into your lives as you move forward to find and accomplish your life's purpose. As you prepare to incorporate these lessons, I want to provide 3 challenges as you continue the journey. First, I challenge you to continually move forward. Remember, the same road can take you many different places. Where you end up simply depends on which direction you are traveling. So keep moving forward and taking advantage of new opportunities that come your way. Develop a well thought out career plan and utilize it as you navigate your career journey. Number 2, I challenge you to never stop learning. Have you considered what the next steps will be in your educational journey? Continuing to learn helps you maximize the positive impacts that you can make for your organization and will help you achieve your full potential. Continual learning never stops, regardless of how many degrees you may hold. Part of the continual learning process involves professional reading. One of my favorite books is The Speed of Trust by Stephen M.R. Covey, which leads to my 3rd challenge. I challenge you to solidify your reputation as a dependable, trustworthy, and knowledgeable employee. Mr. Covey indicates that trust is one of the most powerful forms of motivation and inspiration. So, if you establish your reputation as a dependable and trustworthy employee, you will develop into a trustworthy leader who has the ability to relate and work well with others and achieve phenomenal results. Most people think of a trustworthy person as being someone who has strong character, someone who is good or sincere, and who has strong ethics or integrity. But Covey points out that trust consists of more than just good character. He says that trust is a function of 2 things, character and competence. Character is a reflection of your integrity, whereas competence is a reflection of your capabilities. Today's graduation is the culmination of your efforts to enhance your competence by earning your associate's degree. Many great leaders have spoken about the importance of character and competence. Jim Collins, author of Good to Great, talks about a great leader having extreme personal humility, character, and intense professional will, competence. Warren Buffett prioritizes integrity, character, and intelligence, competence, as the qualities that he looks for in people. Ethics theory says do the right thing, character, and get the right thing done, competence. So I challenge you to protect your integrity by being of strong character, but also continue to learn and grow to enhance your competence. As you reflect back now on the CADP learning journey, I hope that you're very proud of what you have accomplished. I am proud for your success. Anthony J. D'Angelo has stated, develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. I hope that CADP has fueled your passion for learning, and I encourage you to use this milestone as a springboard to continue moving forward in your career. Congratulations, graduates.
On behalf of the class of 2025, thank you, Ms. Shiner, for your heartfelt comments. We will now introduce the CADP faculty and staff. Mr. Barry Waite, Director, Civilian Leadership Development School. Dr. Andrew Bowens, CADP Dean of Academic Affairs. Dr. Lynetta Banks-Williams, CADP Associate Dean. Mrs. Lori Carter, Air and Space Power Studies. Dr. Doris Sarter, Behavioral Studies. Dr. Sheila Knox, Management Studies. Dr. Victor Maduma, Communication Studies. Mrs. Jamichael Beard, Leadership Studies. Dr. Demetra Anderson, Chief of Student Services. Mr. Gordon Talbot, Department Head, General Education and Academic Advising. Ms. Susie Shover, CADP Registrar. We now have the CADP contract faculty and staff. Dr. Vera McKeithen, Dr. Stephen Harris, Mr. Martin Rameau, Mr. Darius Dante, Mrs. Jamie Pfeiffer, Mrs. Vanessa Thomas, Ms. Chiquita Bankhead, Ms. Azure Thomas, Mrs. Ebene Reed, and Ms. Xavier Alloway. This year, we have awarded CADP certificates to those students who completed all 10 Air University core courses, obtaining a CADP certificate, demonstrating significant academic achievement by completing a minimum of 1,350 academic contact hours and program learning outcomes. The students who have been awarded certificates are Doris Adamson, William Barnett, Kevin Bryers, Benjamin Butler, Sean Charity, Merrill Cox, Daphne Cunningham, Antonio Faz, Steve Gwynn, Harold Harder, Eric Holt, Bessie Jones, Rachel Kofed, Timothy Lamb, Catherine Lay, Chad Maywald, Scott Poole, Ricky Quattlebaum, Joshua Ragland, Michaela Randolph, Lucy Reynolds, Philip Shilley, Troy Smedley, Bruce Smith, John Thomaset, Aaron Ward, and Ross Williams. Graduating from this rigorous and challenging program is a great accomplishment within itself. However, we would like to recognize several students that went above and beyond. Dr. Bowens, Dean of Academic Affairs for the Civilian Associate Degree Program, will announce these students.
Good morning, graduates and guests. We will recognize 3 categories of award winners. First, the Program Leadership Award. Next, the Program Writing Award. And finally, the Program Peer Award. The Program Leadership Award is presented to students to recognize sustained student performance, and their award criteria is based on overall academic excellence and contributions to each class over the entire program. The Program Leadership Award winner for the class of 2025 is Mr. Todd McLaren. Congratulations. Next, we will recognize the Program Writing Award. This award is presented to the student for contributions towards overall writing excellence. The award winners for class of 2025 in this category are Ms. Bobby Ballard and Mr. Richard Bowles. Congratulations. Finally, we will recognize the Peer Leadership Award winners. This award is presented to recognize sustained student achievement, and criteria is based on peer feedback that considers student contributions over the entire program. This year's award winners are Ms. Lulani Lobdell and Mr. Travis Woodson. Congratulations again to all of our award winners.
The students graduating from the 2025 Civilian Associate Degree Program represent a group of diverse students, representing 16 bases and over 9 career fields. Now, let's hear from one of our previous graduates.
I loved school. I mean, when I was in high school, you know, I was at the top of my class and everything, and then I went in the Air Force, did really well in the Air Force, but it's been a dream of mine since I got out of the military. I never got my CCAF degree. I started it, but I never finished it. You know, raising kids, you know, being in charge of a shop, working shift work, so it was really difficult. It really wasn't to get a promotion or anything like that. It was because that was the one thing lacking. I had achieved everything I wanted to do in uniform. And so that's what I did. I told my boss about it, and they were all on board, and you know, everybody else in my office had their degrees and I didn't. Yet I had been in the workforce, you know, coming up on 40 years, and I was like, it was time. And I was like, I don't care how old you are, you can go back to school and go get that degree. So that's what made me do it.
We will now recognize each of the 41 graduates in the class of 2025. From the 309th Maintenance Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Cody Allen. From the 553rd Commodities Maintenance Squadron, Tinker Air Force Base, Bobby Ballard. From the 21st Civil Engineer Squadron, Cheyenne Mountain Space Force, Kamala Barker. From the 88th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Tracy Barnes. From the 76th Maintenance Support Group, Tinker Air Force Base, Christian Bauman. From the 88th Civil Engineer Squadron, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Dylan Beasley. From the Ogden Air Logistics Center, Hill Air Force Base, Travis Bennett. From Headquarters Air Force, Pentagon, Richard Bowles. From the 572nd Commodities Maintenance Group, Robbins Air Force Base, Antonio Bunkley, Sr. From the 502nd Force Support Squadron, Joint Base San Antonio, Khalil Crook Frazier. From the United States Air Force, School of Aerospace Medicine, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Janet Daniel. From the Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex, Robins Air Force Base, Aaron Dixon III. From the 61st Force Support Squadron, Los Angeles Air Force Base, Esther Dulaney. From the 526th Electronic Maintenance Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Samantha Farron. From the 421st Chain Management Squadron, Robbins Air Force Base, Aaron Lindsay. From the 50th Force Support Squadron, Schriever Space Force Base, Lulani Lobdell. From the 574th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Zachary Luffy. From the 309th Commodities Maintenance Group, Tinker Air Force Base, Kennedy McFarland. From the 564th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Tinker Air Force Base, Penny McLean. From the 88th Civil Engineer Group, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Todd McLaren. From the 309th Commodities Maintenance Group, Hill Air Force Base, Tanae Mendoza. From the 448th Supply Chain Management Wing, Hill Air Force Base, Amy Nebaker. From the Air Force Office of Special Operations, Edwards Air Force Base, Kevin Newberry. From the 375th Comptroller Squadron, Scott Air Force Base, Diane Parker. From the 709th Maintenance Support Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Kennedy Pierce. From the Command and Control Squadron, Scott Air Force Base, Lindsay Praksha. From the 86th Force Support Squadron, Ramstein Air Base, Germany, Sheena Rammel. From the 388th Electronic Warfare Squadron, Eglin Air Force Base, Karen Reynolds. From the 47th Flight Test Wing, Laughlin Air Force Base, Mauricio Rojas. From the 78th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Robbins Air Force Base, Ginger Schneider. From the Force Generation Center, Robbins Air Force Base, Shanna Shea. From the 6th Comptroller Squadron, MacDill Air Force Base, Karina Smearman. From the 546th Propulsion Maintenance Group, Tinker Air Force Base, Preston Smelser. From the 559th Software Engineering Squadron, Tinker Air Force Base, Stephanie Souter. From the 568th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Tinker Air Force Base, Shu Tang. From the Air Force Civil Engineer Center, Tyndall Air Force Base, Jody Warminski. From the 32nd Intelligence Squadron, Fort Meade, Maryland, Michelle Willis. From Headquarters Air Force Materiel Command, Tinker Air Force Base, Carrie Wilson. From the 573rd Commodities Maintenance Squadron, Robbins Air Force Base, William Wilson. From the Ogden Air Logistics Center, Hill Air Force Base, Travis Woodson. And from the Headquarters Air Force Surgeon General, Pentagon, Judy Wright. Congratulations to all 41 students graduating today. Colonel Holtzclaw, Commandant of the Air Force Global College, will now confer the degree and graduate status to the class of 2025.
All right, good morning. On behalf of the Air University Commander and President, General Tully, and the LeMay Center Commander, General Wright, it gives me great pleasure to stand with you today to celebrate the tremendous accomplishments of our associate degree recipients and our certificate recipients for 2025. It's not lost on me that while this has been a great year, it's also been a challenging year for that of our students and our faculty. But with those challenges also came opportunities, and that was an opportunity for us to stay laser focused on the mission of our student development. And for that, I say thank you for our students and our faculty. And with that, the official portion here. The Director of the Civilian Leadership Development School and the Civilian Associate Degree Program faculty have tested these degree candidates and found that they have met all requirements for the Associate of Science degree in the Department of the Air Force Leadership and Management Studies, based upon the recommendation of the Civilian Associate Degree faculty and the Director, Civilian Leadership Development School. Then by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States, I hereby confer upon the members of the Civilian Associate Degree Program, class of 2025, the degree of Associate of Science in the Department of the Air Force Leadership and Management, with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities here and everywhere appertaining to this degree.
Thank you, Colonel Holtzclaw, and congratulations to all of our graduates. These 41 associate degree program graduates are now even better prepared as current and future leaders in the Air and Space Forces. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Please enjoy the Air Force song. Thank you for attending and have a great day.